But 𝐓𝒂𝒂𝒅 back again in season 2, listening as we bring you a series of stories from the 𝐓𝒂𝒂𝒂 diaries, stories disrupting the narratives of discrimination through heartfelt and real-life stories of LBQ women.
Tales of a non-binary lesbian. I am a non-binary lesbian. In Uganda, lesbians are a part of a marginalized community. We are often despised by the public based on sexuality until they know what we are capable of. At least from my point of view. This means that so many questions will go around about when am I getting married, whether this is a phase or I even do exist. I am also a person living with disability. Low vision, to be specific. It would have been easier for me to say I am just lesbian, but being non-binary means that among LBQ, in the Ugandan context, I am misgendered and referred to as she. I need to keep reminding people that it's they. When I think about LBQs in Uganda, I think about segregation based on the way many of my queer friends and activists have been treated. I remember those that have been forced out of shelters and accused of being gay. My friends that have been arrested in bars, yet had no intentions of looking for visibility. Personally, I think about the times I've been outed by people and as a result received backlash. I was excited to discover that I am a woman that loves women because I always felt something was different about me. I was never excited about meeting guys like my peers even through school. My questions were answered. I've also found that when I started dating girls, the connection was magnetic. It went beyond just sexual attraction. Later coming out as a non-binary addressed my feelings and thoughts of not wanting to identify as neither masculine or feminine. The downside is that my parents and some family members are homophobic. So finding out meant they treat me differently, and the response was harsh. Being from a religious family, I've been considered dirty and sinful. It also means not many friends and family members will respect and celebrate my relationship, as would have if I was a heterosexual, and many will misgender me. Well, I'm working towards completing my master's in counseling psychology and having a successful counseling career. I hope for more growth in my relationship with my partner and probably a child. I hope that the LBQ community will often open more doors for people who are skilled and knowledgeable in different fields like education, medicine, social work, so that they can provide queer-friendly services. I also hope for fair and just leadership in queer spaces for personal growth to happen for many queer people. I'm working to the best of my ability. I'm working on my master's thesis, experiencing and coping among parents of children on the autism spectrum. Want to have completed my revisions by the end of this year and to graduate next year. I'm offering counseling services to LBQ members when I can, and also looking for teaching opportunities. I also run a pastry business, Lisa Pastries, which I started during the COVID period to help me earn extra income. Queer love, according to me, is a romantic or intimate relationship between two or more lesbians. It could be monogamous or non-monogamous. I found out I was lesbian in 2018, nearly 3 years ago. However, I've had the sense that I could be queer all my life, right from primary school years, when I had crushes on girls, till now. In my first years at university, I always craved intimacy and a lasting relationship with a girl, but it didn't happen till I did my master's in psychology and was forced to reflect on why I always found heterosexual relationships empty and unfulfilling. I was surprised when I discovered it took a while for me to take it in. Once at home with it, I was filled with inner peace. I was surprised when I discovered it took a while for me to take in. Once I was at home with it, I was filled with inner peace. My greatest threat was lesbophobic, especially from people that matter. My friends and family. It still is. I became cautious and had to protect myself from people with lesbophobia views. I was more certain of who I really am, and this helped me be at peace with myself. I had a more exciting sex life. I came to the realization that I was a part of yet another marginalized group. I wouldn't have the opportunity to have the ordinary wedding. I would have to get married in one of those countries in which same-sex marriage is legal. I had to think of ways to live more independently, with less support from close friends and family. Queer love is more liberating. It's easier for people to share chores and responsibilities in lesbian relationships because girls are sometimes more flexible than guys. The sex can be more exciting because as women, we understand our bodies better than men do. When I discovered I was queer, I had to hide from some family members, especially those within my close-knit family, maternal aunts and biological parents. My siblings and cousins were okay with it. I had to be careful, thought about who I talked to about my sexuality and gender. I think parenting is not about whether one is heterosexual or lesbian. I think one just needs to be ready for the challenge. That's all. One needs to know, for example, that within the first months of pregnancy, the fetus nervous system has begun to develop. And to understand that overall development of a child, let alone be willing to make all the necessary sacrifices a responsible parent needs to. I want to have a child. One, I have always wished to have one person to share my world with. The world can get lonely, and so many people can leave or may. But I want to believe that I work at my relationship with my child. I will have an honest, and we need to have access to family planning and safe abortion services. And we need to have access to family planning and safe abortion services. One cannot claim to be feminist and yet deny themselves or others an opportunity to love whoever they want to, make the very personal decision to carry a pregnancy to term or have an abortion. If abortion was legal and safe, many women's lives would have been spared just by being able to walk to a health center and ask for pills or a safe and affordable surgical procedure. Lesbians are often tangled up in complicated situations like sexual harassment, abuse, and rape. Sometimes this results into unwanted pregnancies. We need to ask ourselves why every man's sperm and penis should be monitored, yet it insists it must have access to what a woman does with her vagina. I think adoption and fertility opportunities should be made more available for LGBTQ women. We need more services. Many lesbians want children, but society does not insist that mental health challenges are mostly as a result of homophobia. It gives rise to so many other issues, right from childhood. If a parent realizes a child may be queer, they become overly harsh and protective. Queer children grow up with low self-esteem. Some are bullied in school too. As adults, lesbians become depressed because they seek for acceptance in a world where they are often despised. I think that we each have to find ways to manage our anger, pain and stress before it blows up on us. We need to keep letting go of the steam each day, kind of like gently reducing the air in the balloon instead of breaking it with the pain and having it burst suddenly. It's a cautious and gradual process. One may also choose to take time and sit with their challenges, sort and rearrange. Sometimes we may not have clear solutions to everything, but we can make it lighter, easier on us. When I'm overwhelmed, I speak to a confidant or do some baking. I also go for therapy. I believe I deserve a chance at life, and therapy makes things better. I also meditate to calm down. But we are each unique individuals and we have different ways of dealing. Often the answer lies within us. As an LGBTQ person, I have experienced homophobia, especially after being outed by my family members. I've been referred to as sinful and ungodly by some Christian family members, and even asked to stay single. I've also experienced embodied solidarity, visibility, and identity. We need new strategies with which to create our own culture. I believe that we ought to be fair in our ways and encourage each other to be the very best version of themselves, lifting others when they fall. Let us persist, insist, and continue to guard our world from homophobic parasites who camouflage in rainbow colors. I am strong, proud, and satisfied with myself. I am forever grateful to the universe for creating me in the most unique way, with both male and female genes. Tales of a non-binary lesbian.
She said what she said.
Catch us on our socials, Facebook, 𝐓𝒂𝒂𝒅 Diaries, YouTube, 𝐓𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂
notification so you do not miss out on any episode.